Hi, welcome to today's workshop on cultivating healthy relationships. This is part 2 of our series on the relationship spectrum. For more information on the relationship spectrum, signs of unhealthy and abusive relationships, and tools for addressing violence in our relationships and communities, check out our first video, Introduction to the Relationship Spectrum.
This video is produced by the Share Title IX Education Team. The Share Education Team works to empower the Stanford community to end sexual and relationship violence, stalking, gender discrimination, and sexual harassment through collaborative healing, education, activism, response, and transformation.
Today, our mission for this video is to learn more about what healthy relationships look like and what steps we can take to cultivate healthy behaviors in our own relationships. We want to emphasize that relationships can encompass intimate partner relationships, friendships, family relationships, as well as working relationships.
First, we will learn the signs of a healthy relationship. We will then move on to talking about how we can identify and communicate our needs to our partners. We will then look at some tools and practices that you can use to cultivate trust and respect in your relationships. Finally, we will discuss what healthy communication looks like, both in person as well as online.
Let's move into learning some of the signs of healthy relationships.
Before we can learn about what makes a relationship healthy, let's take a moment to understand why this matters. We invite you to pause the video here and reflect on why healthy relationships are important. Consider taking a moment to jot down some notes for yourself. Positive human connection plays an important role in maintaining our emotional and physical health, well-being, as well as growth. In fact, research has shown that positive relationships encourage us to embrace and pursue opportunities that foster a sense of purpose and meaning in life. This is primarily because of the support that comes from a healthy relationship. In the face of adversity, healthy relationships and the positive support they offer can not only buffer us from the harms of stress, but they also allow us to flourish despite these harms. We also want to recognize the importance of healthy relationships and that the skills required to build them are not new. For many collectivist communities, building healthy relationships has been an essential part of community building and strength for a very long time. We want to honor the ways in which healthy relationships of many kinds support communities, particularly those in Indigenous and Black and Brown spaces, where healthy relationships are a source of community strength and resilience.
With all of that being said, let's move into learning the signs of healthy and unhealthy relationships. These signs have been adapted from the One Love Foundation, a nonprofit organization that educates young people about healthy and unhealthy relationships. I highly encourage you to check them out if you're interested in learning more about relationships and ways to identify, avoid, and prevent abuse in intimate partnerships.
Let's start with the 10 signs of a healthy relationship. Comfortable pace. So, what this essentially means is that healthy relationships cannot be rushed. Comfortable pace happens when the relationship moves at a speed that feels enjoyable for each person. This could look like asking for, as well as practicing consent as a relationship becomes physical, or respecting your partner's process of coming out at their own time and place. Secondly, honesty. Examples of healthy honesty in a relationship include knowing that you can be truthful and candid without fearing how your partner will respond, and talking about uncomfortable topics without fear or judgment. Thirdly, respect. Most partners know that respect is an important part of a healthy relationship, but most are unaware of how to develop a relationship based in love and mutual respect. When you respect someone in a relationship, it means that you recognize your partner as a whole person and not just a way to get something that you want. Some examples of respect might be respecting a partner's decision to be sober. It could also include like using their correct pronouns and respecting their identity. Fourthly, kindness. In a healthy relationship, your partner will do things that'll make you happy. Examples include letting you know that it'll be all right when you're having a tough day or giving you a compliment. Fifthly, healthy conflict. Disagreement is a necessary part of learning and growing together as partners. Healthy conflict means that you and your partner are able to openly and respectfully discuss issues without judgment.
Next, we have trust. Trusting someone means you are confident they won't do anything to hurt you or ruin the relationship. Trust is a partner that respects your privacy and one that doesn't put you through a test to prove your loyalty. Independence. Independence happens when you are not feeling dependent on your partner for your happiness and when you have space to be yourself outside of your relationship. Equality. Equality means that both you and your partner feel equal in the relationship. You both contribute the same amount of effort to communicating and making plans, and you both have an equal voice in disagreements or conversations about the future. You respect one another's identities and avoid relying on stereotypes or presumptions about how one should or should not act. Taking responsibility. Taking responsibility means you can admit when you have made a mistake and you can apologize when you hurt someone's feelings, even when it's an accident. And finally, we have fun. The last sign of a healthy relationship is fun. No relationship is fun 100% of the time, but in a healthy relationship, the good times should definitely outweigh the bad.
Remember that relationships exist on a spectrum and they won't all look the same. A relationship might have some healthy behaviors and some unhealthy ones, and they can move up and down on the spectrum. It can be helpful to keep these signs of healthy relationships in your mind so you can assess where your own relationships fall on the spectrum.
Everyone has different wants and needs they would like from different relationships, whether they are romantic, sexual, platonic, or familial relationships. The question, how can I get what I want and need from my relationships, is one we all grapple with as we evaluate our relationships, leave relationships, and enter new relationships. We may worry that addressing our own needs may make relationships transactional, or that we are using a relationship to our own benefit. We want to encourage you to consider the ways in which meeting your own needs, as well as the needs of your partners, can contribute to healthy relationships and build stronger communities beyond the individual relationship.
One of the first steps that we may want to take as we approach our relationships or start a new relationship is to reflect on what exactly it is that we want out of our relationships. Understanding our own wants, needs, desires, and boundaries is an important step to cultivating healthy relationships. You may be looking for all different kinds of relationships, whether sexual, romantic, platonic, monogamous, or open, or you may not be looking to form any new relationships right now. You might consider how you would like a current relationship to change, or maybe you're hoping to develop more trust and communication, set boundaries, or recover from past trauma. You might also be looking to build stronger relationships with those in your community, foster community strength and resiliency. If you're interested in reflecting more on what you want out of sex or relationships, consider taking our sexual projects quiz. Reflecting on your sexual project is a way to understand what's important to you and what's motivating your behavior. Identifying your sexual projects can improve your confidence, give you the chance to change direction if you need to, and most importantly, will help you start communicating with others.
Once we have identified our needs, wants, desires, and boundaries in our relationships, we may be wondering how we can communicate these with our partners. It's important to remember that we may not be able to change our relationships or our partners, particularly if they're characterized by unhealthy or abusive behaviors. However, in healthy relationships, we may still be looking for how to communicate our needs and hope that these needs will be heard and met. One tool you can use to communicate your needs to your partner is the Dear Man method, modeled from dialectical behavior therapy. The Dear Man method is an acronym to help remind us of those steps we can take to communicate our needs in a healthy way. The first step of Dear Man is to describe your wants and needs clearly. The second step is to express our wants and needs in our nonverbal communication as well. Remember to consider how your facial expressions, tone, and body language may help to communicate your wants and needs. The third step is to assert what you need while avoiding aggression or passive aggressiveness. It may help to stay matter of fact and as neutral as you can. Remember to reinforce and communicate why you're asking this of your partner. You may want to explain why this will positively impact your relationship or why you value this relationship. Remember to stay mindful of your own needs and boundaries and be attentive to how you can take care of yourself throughout the conversation. Taking breaks, engaging in mindful breathing practices, and resisting defensiveness and hostility can help us to keep our cool and communicate our wants and needs in a healthy and effective way. Try to appear confident in your communication. Remember that you are deserving of having your needs and wants met, and that your boundaries deserve to be respected. Finally, you may want to consider how you can negotiate with your partner. If your partner cannot fully meet your requests, is there a compromise you would both be comfortable with? How can you meet each other's needs while still respecting your limits and boundaries? Remember that all partners should have their needs equally prioritized, and all partners should have their boundaries respected.
Once we've identified our wants, needs, and boundaries and communicated these with the partner, we might still be looking for tools to help promote some of the healthy behaviors we would like to see in our relationships. Trust and respect are two of the signs of healthy relationships that we discussed earlier, and many of us might still be looking for ways to cultivate and strengthen those qualities in our relationships. In the next section of our workshop today, we will be discussing what trust and respect might look like in relationships, as well as some tools for building these qualities.
Respect may mean many different things to different people and in different contexts. Respect may take different meanings in different relationships as well. For instance, we might think respect looks different in parent child relationships than between romantic partners or between friends. However, there are some common signs of respect that we may look for in many of our relationships. These signs may apply better to some relationships than others, but can be a great jumping off point to start reflecting on what respect looks like or should look like in your relationships. Additionally, self respect is another important form of respect that we may want to consider in our relationships. We may often hear the idea that in order to have a healthy relationship, you have to love yourself first. This doesn't always have to be true. Many people can have wonderful, loving, healthy relationships while they are still learning to love themselves and cultivate self respect. However, your relationship should help, not hinder, you in cultivating self respect and self love. Additionally, the more we cultivate self respect, the better we can get at establishing and protecting our own boundaries and needs and recognizing these same needs in our partners.
Respect might look like many different things, but for many of us, respect may look like A, partners being equals, with neither partner having the authority over the other. B, partners are free to live their own life and decide what they want to share with their partner. C, partners may not always agree, but they trust each other and trust each other's judgment. D, partners who respect each other may build each other up, support each other's interests, hobbies, careers. E, partners would honor each other's boundaries and give each other space. And lastly, partners might speak kindly to and about each other. If you feel that your relationship or partner does not embody these forms of respect, you might want to consider communicating this need or want to your partner. Remember that even when we communicate our wants and needs, we might not be able to change our partner or our relationships immediately. Remember that you deserve to have your wants, needs, and boundaries met, and you deserve to be in relationships that make you feel respected and cared for.
In addition to cultivating respect in our relationships, we may also be looking for ways to foster trust in our partners and in our relationships. Here we have provided some examples of trust exercises you can use to help cultivate trust in your relationships. Consider practicing giving your partner space and privacy when you have the urge to reach out or check in. Try taking 5 minutes to talk about anything to your partner while they just listen and then switch roles. Look up couples challenges online or on YouTube and try some out. Create or share a playlist with your partner or consider watching a show or movie you enjoy. Establish a weekly dedicated time to discuss with your partner what successes and challenges you may have encountered in your relationship that week. You can also search up other trust exercises online and see what appeals to you and your partners. More trust exercises like these are available online at loveisrespect.org.
In the final portion of this workshop, we will be discussing how we can build healthy communication habits, both in person as well as online. Healthy communication is critical for cultivating healthy relationships. Not only is healthy communication a sign of a healthy relationship, but it can also help us establish our needs and boundaries, cultivate respect, and foster trust.
Love may mean many different things to different people and in different relationships, and we may also communicate that love in different ways. Learning how we communicate love and how our partners communicate love can help promote healthy communication. The Five Love Languages is a framework developed by Dr. Gary Chapman to help us understand some of the common ways people may communicate love. We may communicate love through words of affirmation. We may tell people that we love them, compliment them, or tell them what we love about them. We might tell our partner, that dress looks great. We may communicate love through spending quality time with our partners. A partner may say that they love spending time with you or enjoy activities together, like watching a movie or taking a walk. We may communicate love for a partner by giving or receiving gifts. A friend may give another gift, a thoughtful gift for their birthday, or give them something just to remind them that they appreciate them. We may communicate love for a partner through acts of service, such as making a friend a meal or driving a partner to the airport. We may also communicate our love through physical touch. The physical touch does not necessarily mean love has to be expressed through sex. Learning our own love languages and our partner's love languages can help us to communicate our love, respect, and care for each other in ways that each partner can understand and appreciate. Knowing our love languages can also help us to better recognize the ways in which our partners may be showing us love. However, remember that love languages can be used in both healthy and unhealthy ways. For instance, a partner in a healthy relationship may give their partner a gift as a sign of love and affection. But in an unhealthy relationship, a partner may give a gift and expect that their partner now owes them something. For a partner who expresses love with physical touch, in a healthy relationship, they may hold their partner's hand to show care and affection. But in an unhealthy relationship, they may ask their partner to hold their hand to prove their relationship. Consider reflecting on different ways in which each love language can be used in healthy or unhealthy ways.
In many relationships, a substantial amount of communication may occur online, whether it's over the phone, text, messaging, social media, or more. Digital communication may help us get to know someone without the pressures of communicating in person and may help us learn more about our partners. However, digital communication may also be difficult. We may feel pressures to be in constant contact with a partner, and we may struggle to communicate and express ourselves without body language, facial expressions, as well as tone of voice. We all have different preferences for how much communication we like to have in our relationships and what forms this might take. However, there are a couple of things to consider when evaluating digital communication. Communicating boundaries is important for both in person as well as digital interactions. You and your partner may want to share boundaries about what you are or are not comfortable about sending over digital communication. Remember that online boundaries may look different, especially since we may not be able to control what happens with the messages that we send online. You may also have boundaries about how much communication you are comfortable having and when you may want to or not want to be available online. Remember that communication may not be as powerful as in person communication. There may be certain conversations that are easier to have in person or some that are easier to have online. You may want to consider how important body language and facial cues may be for communication, as well as for building a healthy relationship. Ensuring that you and your partner have a healthy balance of online and in person communication can help you to build healthy relationships. To learn more about digital communication, consider watching our video on digital safety, linked here.
Thank you so much for following along and listening. Here we have listed our website and email address. Please feel free to ask any questions. We recognize that assessing our relationships and trying to build healthier relationships and communication can be difficult for many of us. We have added the confidential hotline run by the confidential support team here on campus. If you or someone you know are struggling, please give them a call. You can also contact Share Education at stanford.edu for more information or visit our website at share.stanford.edu. Finally, a huge shout out to Love is Respect for the wonderful educational materials they provide, which have helped us to create this presentation. Check out their website and more of their materials at loveisrespect.org.